Oh yeah, it feels great.
Stephanie Jeter reporting with good news in Oakland. Today we're featuring Mr. Derrick Bedford, better known as DB, who is the CEO and Executive Director for 360 Degrees of Development. DB, welcome to Good News in Oakland. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
How you doing, Steph? Thanks for having me.
I am doing wonderful. You know, it's good news when we can have strong black men like you, DB, who are serving their community. That's good news in Oakland.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, it's about each one teach one, leading by example, and believing that, you know, youth, just because where they start off at is not where they're going to finish.
And that is good news, Derrick. And it's so important that you're talking about each one teach one. You're doing it in the 360 Degrees of Development program. What is that, and how is it serving and creating a better Oakland?
360 Degrees, our mission is to reduce crime in our communities by directly impacting those that are responsible for them. And we do that by giving an original workshop series that impacts, motivates, inspires the youth for change. And so it works on their cognitive thinking. It works on self-development. We're into building confidence and then shining a perspective and giving strategies and principles so that the youngsters know that there is other alternatives out here than to continue doing what they're doing.
Now that sounds very profound. I'm sure you've got some insight on this. Now, how do we empower the African American communities of men, especially in communities across the country, such as East Oakland, that are oftentimes highly neglected?
I think it's just about leading by example, being an East Oakland native myself and representing change, possibilities, being an ideal myself for my fellow peers to see that it doesn't matter what we've been through. You know, we can use that to our advantage. You know, we can reveal darker pasts to brighten up bright futures. And so we just try to encourage them to not be discouraged by what's happened to you in the past, but be encouraged that it can be a platform that you can spring from. You know, just put yourself in the right film. And this whole community and this field of criminal justice is thirsty for guys like myself and for guys like the guys I grew up with to come back and reach back to these youth. And we all know that the youth going to respect the word coming from those who've been there and done that. So that been there and done that could be, it's an asset and not a liability.
Now, DB, I also hear there's a lot of good news talk going on about this weekend training academy. What's going on with that, and how can people get involved?
The Weekend Training Academy is done through the probation department, where I'm a supervisor at. And so I'm able to work the 360 model up at the academy. And we take the youth, like we talked about earlier, that are directly related to the crime and violence in the communities, take them back to the communities and have them restore it by way of rebuilding schools, landscaping parks. You know, we do a lot of good work in terms of litter removal, community development, participate in Earth Day, things of that nature. So the same guys that some people are intimidated by, you see them on the streets, you know, they're out here working, you know, because there's a side of all of us that wants to do better, and we help them, you know, dig deep and expose that, and then they're happy about it, and the community is happy, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Now, DB, lastly, you know, you're a father, a husband. That's all good news in Oakland. I'm sure because the audience hears all the good things that you're doing, they want to know how to get in contact with you and how to get involved with your programs. How can they do that?
Oh, it's very simple. The most easiest way is to contact me via my website, which is www.derrickbedford.com. And that's Derrick with 2 R's. Or you can hit me up on Facebook at DB Bedford.
DB, that's good news. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me. You guys have a great one.
Good news in Oakland. Oh yeah, it feels great.